Hey guys, Ashitaka Wolf's back again. Today we're going to do a little bit of a discussion. There's been a lot of topics that have been touched on recently, namely gun control, religion in schools, and then hate groups like the Westboro Baptist Church. So without further ado, let's start with topic number one. We're going to talk about gun control law. Now, the reason I have any kind of issue with that is really just because of all of the debate that has sparked up thanks to what happened in Connecticut, where you had like 20 people that were shot and killed. A bunch of those were children. Now, while I agree that nobody needs a gun, and guns don't kill people, people kill people. Everybody knows this. It's just that most people don't care. And they don't realize this, and they think that controlling guns is going to make violence completely come to a stop. My understanding is that in England, you cannot own a weapon personally. And I don't even think the police are allowed to have weapons. And yet, they still have a relatively high crime rate there, so it's kind of just complete bunk to say that not allowing people to have weapons would actually stop violence. See, the thing is that when you have a criminal, somebody who has premeditated this desire to kill, whether it be a person, an animal, whatever, it's premeditated, and that person, regardless of whether they have a firearm or not, is going to find a way to make that happen. So they might go and get a bow and arrow. So guns aren't allowed, let's do a bow and arrow, and we're going to just go shoot up the place. All Legolas style, come in here and just, woo! See how many people we can shoot in the eye. So gun control isn't going to stop it. And it's just how it is. You can't just stop the sales of guns. I mean, look at how paranoid the American people got right after this happened. Gun sales jumped up a lot, which to me, it's just sad to see that. Americans are so bent about having a weapon that they would just run out and purchase one as soon as there's a chance that some kind of legislation might come down, that Obama might sign into law something stating that an American person cannot own a weapon. Unfortunately, that's one of our inalienable rights. We have the right to bear arms. Obama cannot officially sign anything saying that we can't have weapons. It's in the Constitution. We are allowed to have weapons. So stop freaking out about it, number one. Number two, even if they did succeed in putting something like this in effect, you're still going to be able to get your weapons. You will see them on the black market. The black market sales will just skyrocket, just like they do for drugs. It just doesn't work to stop these things from happening. It doesn't. I mean, you could even look back at alcohol with Prohibition back in the day. It doesn't work. It never will. So don't worry about it. So the next topic is religion in schools. This one hasn't really come up a whole lot, but it is kind of related to the gun incident with Connecticut. Some people are saying that, well, if God was allowed in schools, well, then this wouldn't have happened. But here's the thing. God is allowed in schools. What is not allowed is for a teacher or a principal or a school district or whoever to go up to a student and say, hey, you got to pray. It's forced. Like, you must pray. That is what's not allowed. So for those of you who don't understand that, in Christianity, or any other religion for that matter, that's what's going on. They cannot force a child to pray. There are plenty of atheist children out there, or Muslim families, or whoever, that they don't want to have to pray to your God. So you need to understand that it's not that he's not allowed, it's that he can't be forced on anybody. So, I mean, is that really that hard to understand? Stop trying to say that Obama's trying to remove God from the schools. You know what? God doesn't belong in the schools, okay? But we have a moment of silence after saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America during which time your student is more than welcome to pray, or they can sit there and doodle, or they can do whatever they want. They just have to be quiet during the moment of silence. What is so wrong with that? We're not going to teach creationism in school. It has no scientific founding. School is for education, not religion. Period. Which actually goes into politics as well. I mean, like, realistically, what does God have to do with America at all? He's on our money. He shouldn't even be there. I'm not going to argue that point because I don't really care what's printed on my money. As long as I can go over to Target or wherever I want and hand them that bill and they take it and say, this is perfectly good money, I'm good with that. That's fine. I don't care. So I'm perfectly fine with you leaving it on there. And I think most people are. Nobody cares that much. Except for you, the fanatical Christian, who for some reason believes that God has been removed from school. Now that doesn't apply to all Christians, I know. So I've got plenty of Christian friends, and I have no problem with the religion. I've got no problem with the people, except for the fanatics. Which leads me to the next topic, which is the Westboro Baptist Church. Holy heck. Like, really. The things that these people do in God's name are just so wrong. They're going to protest children's funerals that were killed viciously by this man in Connecticut. I mean, you've got to be really seriously kidding me. How can you protest a child's funeral? Number one, they've got grieving families. Do you really think that these grieving families want to see picket signs at their funeral for their child? No! That's rude. Number one, it's just rude. That's the biggest issue, is that it is just totally rude. Everybody's entitled to their beliefs. I don't care what you believe. You're entitled to it. I may not agree with you, but that's too bad. You're not going to be able to convince me to agree with you because I have my beliefs. I do what I want to do. And I'm not going to force that on you either. So, the Westboro Baptist Church in the past has done a lot of different things, including protesting Steve Jobs' funeral. Like, why would you even do that? I mean, Steve Jobs didn't do anything wrong. He just successfully marketed Apple products for a number of years and became essentially an icon in the technology world. Whether his products were fantastic or not is just completely irrelevant. But there's no reason to do that. It's rude. They also protested soldiers. Now, as a military person myself, I find that just completely and totally offensive. I don't care why they did it. It makes no difference why they did it. The fact is, they did it just to try to promote God. How do you think that makes God feel? I don't even think they realize it. I strongly recommend, there is a petition on whitehouse.gov. If you go to that website and search for the Westboro Baptist Church is a hate group, you can sign that petition. It's already, when I signed it, I think they had something like 400,000 signatures, or maybe less, I don't know, it might have been 40,000. Either way, they have enough for the United States government to look into it according to the policy of whitehouse.gov. I strongly recommend that you go and you look that up and sign the petition. If I remember to, when I'm doing my description, I'll make sure and put a link below so that you can see, so that you can go directly to that petition. And with that, I'm going to leave you with a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will not be making any videos for the remainder of 2012, but you can look forward to some videos late January 2013 once I've purchased my upgraded equipment. I will be doing a video review of Halo 4 and PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale if my video recording equipment will actually work with the PlayStation. I've heard there's issues with that, with HDCP content protection, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. And I'll leave you with that. Happy holidays.